Truth is, almost everyone uses headphones, but the other truth is not all headphones are made for everyone. Introducing JLab, headphones as versatile as you are. JLab's diverse collection of headphones has something for everyone in every moment. For travel, you can use Epic Lux ANC over-ear headphones. For the smallest fit ever, check out the JBuds Mini. JLab has so many versions of headphones for all the different versions of, well, you. Look for the blue box at retailers everywhere or shop jlab.com and use code ELIZA for 15% off your order today.
Lemonada.
Ask me, ask Eliza anything. It's time to ask. Ask me all your questions. Leave them in the Instagram comment section. Leave them on your Twitter or leave them on your Facebook. We'll see them, we'll read them, then we'll give you answers. You know it, I've got it. I've got the answer. You ask me. I'll tell you anything.
I am leading a revolution against this mandate that because audio has become this weird preferred medium for consuming pop culture in addition to video, that you need like a full face of makeup looking stunning every time.
Nobody's asking you to do that.
They're asking it. And like, I'm sorry. Like, and as women, you should be like, yeah, that's okay that you were doing 8. Fuck me.
You just
That
mute
you were doing-
yourself. You're so mad. You're muting yourself.
I'm so mad because I think this looks janky to just have like a thing here. And like, I'm not going to like get a podcast studio space. I'm not going to pay someone to be like I'm just not. It should be about the comedy and the opinions, not like you're like, how dope did you look?
It is.
Like, I'm sorry that there are people who come in once a week on a network and someone's there to light it and you guys talk about hand jobs and knitting, but this is raw. This is me after coming home early from a family vacation. This is me now.
You've loved to come home early from a vacation. Don't pretend.
Something happened with our well on our vacation home. And so it needs to be maintained. It needs to have a maintenance call. We're like, we're not going to stay here with like the water. It's just not great water.
There a body in there?
Yep.
Oh, well.
There was a dead body and I just didn't say anything. And so we came home early. And so this was recording this, a week earlier than you're hearing it, which I know kind of takes away some of the magic. But I was like, let's get it done. And we came home early and we came home on Passover. And I didn't plan a Passover even on our vacation. And I wasn't going to do one here. We did a really big one last year. And I'm kind of over it's enough Jewish just for a bit. Okay. I didn't feel bad at all about eating bread. I didn't think when my kids are older, we can do a Seder, but like you're allowed to set down traditions that are a little bit of a pain in the ass every once in a while to go do sets around town instead. My Passover was me eating an orange and going to the Improv, the Comedy Store, and the Laugh Factory. I'm fucking getting this check.
Yeah, the big checks that they give you. I was at my parents' house and on Passover, and my mom goes, "You have Jewish friends, right?" I'm like, "Yeah," and she goes, "'Cause it's Passover." And I was like, "Yeah, I just don't remember if it's one of the ones you're supposed to say happy or so I just didn't say anything to anyone." But I do think it's funny she didn't know I had Jewish friends when all she cares about is you.
You have a Jewish boss, right? Anyways, it doesn't matter. It's over. And here we are a week later. And as you listen to this, I'm in Australia. And if you know that, then hopefully you came and saw me in Melbourne and Sydney. And I'm on my way to Brisbane. And then we're heading to you, Aotearoa, New Zealand. And I'll talk about that at the end. But today we're here with you. And I've been looking at the Patreon, really proud of the way people have participated. And we're here to talk about as it gets hotter, as the world gets hotter and as the year gets hotter. We're getting into those summer months as I head to somewhere where it's fall. People are getting real hot under the collar. Sexual situations, real life situations.
Okay, let's first do one about someone's dad. Hi, Eliza and Emily.
Speaking of sexual situations.
This has been on my 29 female mind for the last week. My dad is at times judgmental and runs his mouth when I think he doesn't mean to. For context, I work with my dad, 51, part-time at a restaurant. Our old coworker got married last November, 2023. A couple of Novembers ago.
Yeah, I read that and I was like, I know it's hard to conceptualize time since COVID. And I know it's weird to reckon with the fact that 2023 was not last year.
two Novembers ago.
She had a baby in November of 2023.
Got married and is expecting her first baby. Her shower was last week at our place of work. I said, "Oh, I didn't realize this was her shower." And my dad replied, "Wow, she wasted no time," in a judgmental tone. The reason this bothers me is because I recently got married as well, August 2024. My husband and I are thinking of trying for a baby starting this summer. My dad saying that really got in my head. My old coworker is slightly older than me, maybe 32 to my 29, almost 30 self, and we both have stable careers and homes. Admittedly, my husband and I do live in an apartment, but it's in what may be considered the best suburb in New York, and it is big enough to welcome a kid.
Brooklyn.
We want to own a house before a kid, but the local market makes that honestly impossible for the foreseeable future, 3 to 5+ years. I fear what my parents will say if we do end up pregnant. I do know it's none of their business, and my husband and I plan on following what's best for us regardless. I don't see why they wouldn't be happy, but I've been surprised by them before. I just wish he hadn't said it. Any suggestions on how to broach the subject with my parents if we do indeed get pregnant this summer? Thank you.
No, the weird person here is your dad. But I also think when you're the child, we pick up on things that our parents say. And because our parents are human, a lot of times it's like, I don't know why I said that. I don't remember saying that. I mean, I deal with that now with like this little 3-year-old girl. She's like, why did you say that? And I'm like, I don't know. Why were you listening? It's also, your dad's a misogynist because, wow, she did that fast. Suggests that this woman like trapped this poor guy. And that's not that fast. Like they were married. They had some time. Yeah, like this, what you guys are doing, what's crazy is that you and your friend are doing very normal things and you're worried about your dad's like super abnormal take. So I don't know how to broach it. I mean, if you're asking like, how do we say like, we're surprised we're pregnant? That's very normal to want to have a baby. I'm surprised the question isn't more complex. Your dad's done a number on you. And I bet you if you went over to your dad and you said, hey, I heard you say this. Why did you say it? I bet you he would give you the most, get that cat out of there, the most unrelatable, weirdest, tangentially related to reality answer. Like he may not even have an answer. It could just be some people just have like preloaded shitty things to say about women. Right. Or that reminded him of a friend that a woman was pregnant and you don't know. Your dad doesn't know your friend. Your dad's frame of reference is off base and it's none of your business. What you need to focus on doing is deciding if you want to have a baby and how exciting that's going to be. And when you are having a baby, you don't need to think about the way to delicately tiptoe around anything. Like you're having your baby. What you should be focused on is like, what's the fun way to tell my parents? And be braced for his reaction to be bizarre. But now that you know your dad is crazy and kind of a pain in the ass, it doesn't matter. Because even if he's like, wow, that's disappointing. I was hoping you'd be married for 6 years before you conceived a child. Like, what is that based on? Like, you're asking the opinion of a crazy person. Your mom will be happy for you. Your friends will be happy for you. And your dad will sort it out. Like, don't worry about it.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
You're going to spend all this time hemming and hawing over it. And then you're going to get pregnant. And he's going to be like, congratulations. And you're like, oh, you were crazy all along. And you just drove me crazy. And it was for no reason.
Right.
People like that say things that are designed to ruffle your feathers. And then they just go on living. So your dad's going to be fine with it. And if he's not, you're well within your right to be like, I'm sorry, is there a problem with getting married and having a child like millions of people do every day?
Right.
So your dad said something weird, unrelated to anything happening in reality, and you're clinging to it. That's it.
Hey, Julia Louis-Dreyfus here. If you listen to me on my Wiser Than Me podcast, you probably already know that I'm an investor and an evangelist for the Mill Food Recycler. There are a lot of reasons to love Mill, but for me, it's all about the impact. Keeping food out of the garbage is one of the most powerful things we can do to help the planet every single day. We're talking banana peels, carrot tops, old takeout. When that stuff heads to the landfill, it becomes a huge driver of climate change. If you already compost, great. But of course, there's the smell, the flies, the running to the curb every day with a little leaking compost bag made of cornstarch. That's where Mill comes in. It makes keeping food out of the trash as easy as dropping it in. It can handle nearly anything, from a turkey carcass to like 20 avocado pits. It works automatically while you sleep. You can keep filling it for weeks, and it never, ever smells. Mill makes dry, nutrient-rich grounds that you can use in your garden, add to your compost, feed to your chickens, or Mill can get them back to a small farm for you. But you kind of have to live with Mill to really get it, and that's why they offer a risk-free trial. Go to mill.com/wiser for an exclusive offer.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. I know that people write into our show and we ask all kinds of questions ranging from deep to superfluous to funny. We all need someone to talk to. People always ask me, well, have you seen a therapist? I absolutely have seen a therapist. After Ethan was born, life was different and difficult, and we are not all born with the tools to cope with whatever this is. I've benefited from therapy, and that is why I can confidently tell my listeners, because I would never steer you wrong, you need therapy. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally. And it's convenient. You can join a session with the click of a button, helping you fit therapy into your busy life. And you can switch therapists at any time. You get the quality care at a price that makes sense. And it can help you with anything from anxiety to everyday stress to dealing with whatever fresh new hell of an existence we have. Your well-being is worth it. Visit betterhelp.com/Eliza to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp, HELP.com/Eliza.
I have a question for Eliza. Obligatory hello to everyone on the pod, the babies, the Snow Peach, the cats, Hot Scotty, toot toot.
Is this too much, Mike?
In front of you? I mean, it's not great.
Or is it? Okay. But I think this sounds better.
Okay, then do that.
Okay.
Do you see how nicely I have my mic?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. No one's here to set it up. I don't know.
My God.
You started it. You're being rude to me today. I got on
kicked off
everything I
this
did.
episode so mad.
I'm trying to do everything. And everything I did, you're like, well, is that right? No, you're not going to make it.
I
Can't
don't
even
think I
like you were
said
just scutching
anything
me.
like that.
No,
I don't think
malicious
that's what I
compliance.
sounded like at all.
No, you're something bad happened to you today and you're putting it on me.
Can I tell you the honest truth?
Yeah.
Since this is a lady podcast, I have cramps so bad today.
Okay, that's there it was. See, I'm not crazy.
You can tell
it
I'm
was
being
you.
nasty.
You were just being like you were like writing me off a little bit, and I was like trying to fix my mic, and you were like, "Wow, now your
I've been laying in
aren't
bed
working."
with.
What are you gonna do about that?
All day.
As you should. I think it's the only thing that helps period cramps is a rescue cat just laying across your lower abdomen.
Exactly. I don't need a heating pad. I've taken 6 Midol since I woke up at 6 a.m. Just
Listen to me.
chilling.
As someone who never has talked about my period or cramps,
You never
especially
do.
with you,
I know.
it's like I don't get cramps. I'll get like one, and then I'll be like, "There it goes." You need to keep it to yourself because it's gross that you have a period.
I know. You know, the worst part is sometimes I'll get a migraine before, and then I'm at work with a splitting migraine, and I can't be like, well, I know that this is a hormonal migraine because no one gives a fucking shit.
Easy.
You have a fucking migraine.
Maybe we shouldn't record on the 13th of any month.
This is it. Friday the
Jeez.
13th. No, it's a Sunday.
Do you want to hear something that's going to wreck your day just like you tried to wreck mine?
What?
You know when you have your period and you eat more and you're like, that's okay because my body is burning calories because I'm like menstruating.
Right.
It really isn't. It's maybe in total about 100 calories.
No,
So
of course.
you're just over there being a little fatty, eating
Unless
up,
you're
slurping on soup.
pregnant, your body's not doing more.
You mentioned this twice. I think you need to talk to a doctor about maybe taking something that will help your symptoms.
What have I
because
mentioned twice?
You mentioned you're being in a bad mood because you're period on another episode, and I remember it because I was like, this is not appropriate. Ever.
I'm
Your
trying to
body
make
is
this
never-
podcast more popular with women. It doesn't have enough female listeners.
Let's go back and forth right now and say female listener words for SEO. Okay.
Okay.
I'll start. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Butter.
Menstrual cup.
That was mine. Okay. Yarn.
Skims.
Badass mama.
Lip liner.
Greek yogurt.
Influencer.
Lip plumping.
Kim Kardashian.
Aesthetic. They say it like that with a T, like an idiot. Go on.
What are other lady words?
You know what sounds like a birth control pill? Yaris, but it's a car. But But it's like a girl car.
It kind of is. That and like a Honda Fit. They don't make them anymore, but I remember eyeing them up like I should get one. It's like a little Honda
There are
for,
cars that are made for women.
for girls. They
Yeah.
don't make that little Fiat
bumper cars.
anymore. That the straight up bumper car, that little Fiat 500 baby
Can
car.
I tell you,
Yeah.
when I was 17, my parents took me to Italy and they
Excuse
had,
me.
well, we went. I don't know. I'm
Okay.
not going to sit here and apologize. And they had smart cars there. This is before they were in America. And I was just like, how do you fit in this? And it's like, yeah, in tiny places with ancient streets, they have, not everybody has this need to have their scrotum hanging off the end of like an F450. And they're just tiny everywhere. And the fact that we don't have those, like everyone in San Francisco and New York should drive a tiny car.
Yes.
Pablo Francisco even had a bit about it. Smart car. Bullshit. It was so tiny.
They do have my parents' neighborhood kids now drive golf carts, which wasn't a thing when I was
hate
growing
that.
up there. And I'm just like, oh, like I went out to my car the other night when I was at their house and I just hear kids chit-chatting as they zoom down the street. And it's like, I'm gonna hit you with my real car. And I think it's gonna be your fault. Like in that fried green tomatoes, I have more insurance
Yeah.
than you.
Also, like they're like, I can be drunk because it's a golf cart. You know what
Right.
I don't need is some 17-year-old in boat shoes named Gunner driving his golf cart the wrong way. You know who drives golf carts? And I know this because I lived there for 2 weeks while we shot Righteous Gemstones. The kids that go to Charleston College.
Mm.
And I get that for like small streets, but like this is not a motor vehicle that I need to share the road with. All right. Now you got her laughing.
Look, we got women and we got men because now we talked about cars, although we just talked about little ones.
When you said cars,
Yeah.
when you do the deep voice, you sound exactly like Carrie Brownstein when she plays Spike.
Oh,
The like trans male, but actual just male character in Portlandia. Just called her like this that I'm not like not attracted to, but for some reason when
Well, that
Scott
little
puts the effect on your voice, you sound just like her, which reminds me of my Top of the Cob. Back to the show.
I do have to say, a couple times he's done the effect. I'm listening. I'm like, who called in? And I'm like, oh, it's me.
Oh, it's me. But I just want to say, I called it. You were being a little extra prickly, and there was something. You tried to gaslight me, typical man. Like I'm crazy, and I'm like, why is she being? You usually like worship the ground I walk on, and today you
I
just
know,
treated me
and
like
I
an
had,
equal.
I didn't even tell you I had 2 dreams about you last night. Because my first one, where you played the drums,
Yeah,
and then I woke up because the cat's food shot out, and then I went back to sleep. And in the second dream, you were friends with Denise Richards, and you would not
Okay.
introduce us.
I don't want to hear about your like wet dream. And also, I have this image of your cat feeder. The food just shoots across the room,
Yeah.
like you just hear like.
My mom, when she stays here, is like, it's like I'm under attack. It's like gunshots because it's dry food hitting a metal bowl at a high speed.
Tiny dehydrated salmon buckshot.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get back to the show because
No
there are
one
people.
likes this.
They're about to tune off.
Tune
out.
off. Tune
They're going
in.
to go to some actual therapy website.
We're about to ask a question that's not juicy at all, but that you can help with. So let's see how they like
I'd live
that.
for it. Okay.
How did you find your style / where do you shop for clothes? I recently hit a weird point in my life where I just kind of hate everything I own and I want to invest in some classic, fun, and some fun pieces. For context, I, 26, female, just left the active duty army, so I've never really had to worry about how I looked in business casual or non-gym attire for most of my adult life. I have always struggled with clothes because I'm 5'3", but I have large boobs. Unless I'm wearing a skin-tight top or tucking in my shirts, I always think the short frame, large chest combo makes me look fat.
Yep.
I'm asking you because I love your style and you have mentioned having larger boobs on the pod before. I like that this very kind person is like, I'm not just asking about your boobs. You brought it up first.
You've mentioned it. You said you did.
You said, okay.
You dress like that.
I'm only seeing 2 types of styles online and in stores, and neither really resonate with me. The first, especially now that it's spring, is the ballerina farm Mormon housewife type of look, where it's just long maxi dresses in light colors, blouses with puffy sleeves, lots of skirts, etc. The second look I'm
I hate
seeing,
a puffy sleeve. I hate it. I will take designer blouses and get them altered to reduce the sleeve. I hate it.
the second look I'm seeing is the Alison Bornstein, the Row-inspired clean girl type of look with wide leg jeans, a plain button down, slick back hair, and chunky gold jewelry. I suppose I prefer the wide jeans look over the dresses, but it's incredibly formulaic and will probably be out of style in 2 years anyway. I would love to hear your recommendations in the stores you shop at. I'm willing to spend good money, LOL. Now, do you want me to just read you your answer since you already got up in here? Or do
I
you
don't
want to
know
help
what-
the people of the show?
God, you're such a jerk. What am I allowed to interact with on the Patreon?
You're allowed, but I just think we want to help more people, and we get
You should join
some.
the Patreon.
we get questions from people to you, very specifically about jewelry, about outfits,
Can I
about what's
just
this
say something
bra
to
that
you?
you like. Yeah.
Can I just say something to you?
Yeah.
As a woman,
Yeah.
you're coming off as shrill.
Is my voice going up?
No, you're fine. Yeah, you can read the answer and then I'll expound.
Okay. This is Eliza. Never underestimate how great, simple, and chic is, especially on a great body. I've always stuck to clean silhouettes and black because they are always chic and easy, and I never want my clothes to define me. You want to wear the clothes, not the other way around. I think style is about being simple and choosing expensive and unique pieces to go with the t-shirt and jeans. It's hard to dress like everyone else when you don't feel like everyone else. So just take your time.
Take your time. I mean, I do think it's a little myopic to be like, there's two types of styles out there: trad, house, farm wife, and the row. Like one's $1 billion and one you could get at Walmart and you could put a ribbon in your hair. If you have big boobs, and whether you're heavy or not, big boobs on a small frame will always make you feel heavy. And I am a little bit taller than you, and I've never really been heavier, but I will tell you, I always felt gigantic, not just because your boobs take up so much volume. So it's hard to wear a cute blazer. It's hard to do like an open shirt over it, which like every mom on every sitcom wears, because it tents you out. And so you have no shape. So it is a pain in the ass, and bras are a pain in the ass. You need to find a good pair of jeans and you need to open your mind, because I came up during the style of skinny jeans, right? And I was like, I'll never get rid of these. And then one day I just went and got a pair of high-waisted, wide leg jeans, and it looked amazing. What you want is something that balances the top and the bottom. So actually having big boobs, but wearing a wide leg, if you do something that tapers at the waist, will give you a figure. So I would go out, I would try on some stuff. I would just look at stuff and see what you like. I see models all the time and I'll like one thing and then I'll go find the version of that works for me. You need a great bra, a fantastic pair of jeans, and you want to buy things that are of quality because they will fit you better. Also, never ever underestimate the power of a good tailor. When you see celebrities and they look impeccable, it's because they had it tailored. Fashion wants women to all look like men, because that's who's doing most of the designing. They want you to have no breasts, no thighs, no shape, and everything to just hang. That's not how most women look. Go get it tailored. Buy whatever you want, get it tailored. Buy a size up, get it taken in. Make the clothes fit you. Spend that money on the nice outfit and then spend the $35 it costs to get it tailored.
Yeah.
And don't worry about if you like army paint. I guess you were in the army, but like if you find what you like, do a little bit of digging, but it takes time and it changes. Right now, I'm really into like a wide leg, big sweater bandana. I'm into dressing like a teddy bear.
Where's the bandana going?
On my neck, like a little bear, like a little sheriff bear.
Oh, not like a little
Like a Rosie the Riveter headband.
I meant Fred in Scooby-Doo with his ascot.
It's around the neck.
Look, I'm wearing really nice pants.
Emily is fully naked, just for everyone.
My Blockbuster sweatpants.
Yo, Emily's wearing Blockbuster sweatpants, but you pair that with like an expensive Italian sneaker and like a white tank top. That's dope.
Our producer, Leah, told me something shocking about myself that I haven't been able to stop thinking about since.
Did she say it very seriously?
Yes. That I wear my shoes like plastered to my feet, like that I tie them so tight, and my sneakers, like as though they are a second skin. And I was like, wait, you're right. Like when I take my sneakers off, there's indents on my feet. That's
not good. It's going to alter the shape of your foot. And I think of Ali Sheedy in The Breakfast Club, which is like, you'll never know when you have to jam. I could see you saying that. Can you say that?
You'll never know when you have to jam?
Like get out of there. You never know when you have to jam.
Ali,
say it, and let's use this as a soundbite. You'll never know when you have to jam.
You'll never know when you have to jam. Was that not the right inflection?
It's not how I fantasized about it.
I don't like that kind of character in a movie.
Why are you tying your shoes so tight?
I didn't realize that I think I'm tying them so, because I'm like, I don't want the laces to, it was really drilled into me. Like, you can't have a loose lace. You'll trip and you'll die. So I double knot them.
Who drilled this into you?
My mom.
My mom.
My mom.
Why are you, okay. I mean, can you feel your feet? Do you have like diabetes?
No, but I am truly like, now when I put on my shoes, I'm thinking about that because I'm like, God, yeah, my shoes I really glue them on there.
Well, good. You're a third grader that doesn't want to lose their shoe.
If I get hit by a bus, I don't want my shoes flying off.
You got to let those things breathe. You love Crocs, though. You're the first person I knew that had Crocs. You're the only person I know who owns Crocs.
It
to be
really
honest.
upsets everyone else in
You
my
bought them
life.
like pre-designer fad.
But I bought them when they were still for nurses. And I was like, me too. I'm also in the service industry.
Hashtag me too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what my me too is. I should be allowed to wear Crocs even though I don't help anyone.
My own charms. All right.
I did have custom charms.
I know you did. You had them for your Tasteless podcast. And this isn't about you. This podcast is about me and people asking my advice.
We're going to do a confession and we're going to do a double. And I want to know if you want to start with non-body fluids or start with body fluids.
Let's just like college. Let's start with the body fluids and we'll move on out.
It's very apt. You know, I think we themed this show well. It's called My, quote, Bloody Confession. Hi, Liza and Emily. I've been holding out on emailing you this incredible confession for a few reasons. It's so gross. No one in the world knows about this. And I don't love typing in English, but it's time I give you my only secret. All right.
Oh, my only secret.
Also, it's very sweet. This person says, please don't read my name, but their name is in a different language. So I could not blow up their spot if I wanted to.
Doesn't my only secret sound like a Japanese coffee shop?
It's not a bad idea.
My only secret.
I started using a moon cup in 2013. I assume that's the same as like a Diva cup or anything. It's a little cup. I'd rather destroy the environment. I can't get behind it.
You've heard me say this. How
What?
it can't come down to women menstruating.
Oh.
It's not the oil in the oceans. It's not deforestation. It's me. We're using a tampon soaked in
All
lye.
your
I don't think so.
tampons are fucking up the
Fucking
earth.
break.
Yeah.
All right.
For where I live, that was really progressive. Not many people even knew what a moon cup was. Now it's more commonly known as a menstrual cup. We tried to rebrand it. I didn't really think about it too much. Took a while to get used to, but it's my go-to, and I try to use it instead of wasteful pads and tampons that are terrible for their environment and expense.
All right.
A few years later, I was living with my best guy friend from university, a lovely roommate. We had lots of fun and we got along really well. He is a staunch vegan and has been for years. He's great about it, doesn't give anybody shit, just doesn't eat animals or animal product. Now the confession. One night I did something gross and I emptied my moon cup into the bathroom sink and not into the toilet. I don't remember why. I didn't make sure every little chunk goes through the sinkholes. That morning, my lovely roommate yells from the bathroom, "What's in the sink?"
Oh my God.
I said I had no idea because I forgot about the moon cup and menstrual blood being poured in. He came in my room holding in his hands some of my pearly blood clots that didn't go through the sink and asked me if I know what they were.
Why would you grab that out of a sink?
It doesn't matter what it was. It could have been a little turd. Yeah,
Like,
this
why
is
would
on
you ever
him.
touch any? You?
I was horrified. I said I didn't know.
Did he eat them?
For some crazy reason, he threw one in his mouth and chewed it. Did he think it was a bean? And then said, "Huh, weird," and threw the rest out. I never said a word. I think about this story every once in a while. I never told this to anyone. It's so gross. He's still one of my best guy friends, and I will take the story to my grave. That's my confession, you guys. My favorite podcaster by far. And my best Wednesday hang for the past 3 years. Lots of love. I blame this man.
He's an idiot.
Pulling
what
a chunk out of the sink. It's like, it could have been soap. It could have been poison. It could have been a turd.
It's not going to be anything edible.
Right,
If
even
it's in the sink. It's not the kitchen sink. It's the bathroom sink, meaning on the highest end of the edible scale, it's red toothpaste.
And he's like, a black bean. Tasty. The chickpea, yum. Like, no, excuse you, sir.
Also, the fact that he's a vegan is irrelevant because it's animal products, not human. Like, no vegan is like, I won't eat human.
This is the most
Never said.
natural thing he can eat.
You can never tell him that.
No.
But you should not be friends with this person because he seems like a liability.
Right. What else is he eating? Do you have to lock up the sink like I do for the cats and for babies to keep them from eating detergent?
That's so like, what's this, an outlet? Maybe I could park my finger in it. Oh, whoops-a-daisy.
Okay, now we're going to do a non-body fluids confession. I think we have to double up now because everyone has a body fluids story. Now that people don't read 17 magazine, they need to get it out somewhere. And we need to assign them like, how many out of 5 little blushing faces?
There's just too many people calling in here using this as their dumping ground for their shit story. All right, so let's move on. I'll put on some blush.
This is my confession. A few years ago, I joined a volunteer group to promote my little hometown. I was on the social media committee, so I'd go around to various local businesses and highlight their services and also promote community events.
That's fun.
Yeah. I
like that.
took over the role from another woman who had been doing it, but needed to leave the group for, quote, personal reasons. After I got
She moved
access
to another town. She's like, I can't keep up with the hustle and bustle.
She moved to a smaller Hallmark town. Yeah.
It's more of a intentional community.
Ugh. After I got access to the group's Facebook page, I started getting multiple message notifications for it. I clicked on the message thread and started reading. It turns out the previous woman had linked her personal account with the committee account, and I was being notified of messages she received and sent between her and a friend. The contents of the messages, how her and her friend were considering having a threesome. But wait, it gets worse. The friend is a past client of mine. Me, her real estate agent, got a very clear glimpse of her sexual adventures with other
That's what
locals
she needs that house
in
for.
our town.
Mm-hmm.
I'd almost completely forgotten about this happening until a couple days ago when I was getting coffee with a new friend, and she mentioned she had a couple friends she thought I would get along with. The very
Story.
the very same women in the threesome conversation. I don't know if they know I saw anything, but when I reached out to let her know I had taken over admin role for the group's Facebook page, she probably figured it out. Anyway, wish me luck keeping a straight face if I see either of them in person again. Gotta love small towns.
Yeah, I kind of don't think it's a big deal.
She probably doesn't know that her personal Facebook was connected. I bet she has no idea. But I do
A lot of those on the pod. It's like, and they had no idea, like middle-aged women that just like, and I didn't realize my email was connected to this account. Like, and I uploaded this and I didn't realize it was to the Times Square billboard that's on the northwest corner. I don't know. I feel like it's like a sex positive thing. And I think more people are having threesomes than we realize.
I just love that they formed a little group. They're like, let's get the word out about this town. Let's bring the townspeople together. This woman was grassroots out there bringing townspeople together 3 at a time.
Yeah, I think it's, I was actually talking to a parent that I met at some event who I didn't know, lives in our area. And he was like, yeah, did you go to that benefit at wherever for the fires? And I was like, no. And it was like something within our small community. And he was like, yeah, I guess the woman running it was kind of also using it as like a way to like scope out other swingers. You probably read about it on the page. But I was like, I guess that's fine. Like if you're still like raising money for a charity and you're also like sniffing out like who wants to, I almost said get down with you. I guess it's harmless. I feel like we're like a little weird about those things here, but I think more people are having deviated from normal sex than we realize. Like especially as an older parent, I was saying this to that dad. I was like, it'd be one thing if we were all like 25-year-old parents, but I think like older parents definitely are like, anybody want to fuck? My wife's into it and I'm okay with it. I'm just not going to do it. Maybe. No, I think that would ruin my marriage, but I don't know. Again, what you want to do, I don't even care if it's behind closed doors. Like what you want to do with your body doesn't bother me one bit. It's not even for me to say it's okay. Just, I'm all for it.
Raise that money.
Raise that money. Protect our fires.
Our fires.
It was to protect the fires. She shouldn't have gotten any money.
Right. They were the only group that was like, no, fires deserve to live too. Don't snuff out an innocent life.
Yeah. Protect our fires. Your fires need our help. Don't snuff me out.
I have a question for Eliza. Emily, as I know you've been through this sadly, and anyone in this chat, please. I really need some support right now. Am I being a selfish dick or is my friend?
Ooh, this is our area of expertise. Because we answer a lot, not because we know.
Because we're both selfish dicks.
Yeah.
I have a best friend and we've been friends for over 20 years. Our friendship tends to be a bit uneven, with her always complaining about something every day and talking about herself. She's been like this for years. It's just one of those, and I'm used to it. I don't think it's malicious. I think she just doesn't have much social awareness. I'll listen to her problems if she's going through a tough time. I'll keep any minor gripes of my own to myself until she's in a better headspace, as I just don't think it's appropriate. I am going through the worst time of my life at the minute. My 10-year-old cat has been very ill over the last 2 weeks, and my poor boy was put to sleep yesterday. I am devastated. I cry on and off all day, and I think I've fallen into a bit of a depression because of it. He may be an animal, but I love him as my child and have had him for 10 years. My heart is shattered. My friend knows all of this, as I've told her. However, she's still talking about herself and a problem she has at work. I genuinely don't have the mental capacity to deal with this right now. I feel like my whole world is falling apart. Seems like I can't have one day where I can be selfish and not have to be someone else's comfort. She messaged me today to ask how I'm feeling, and I said pretty much what I've said here: heartbroken, grieving, depressed. She then replied she was sorry, etc., but looped in stuff about her work again. An example is, I'm so sorry you're going through this. Allow yourself to grieve. I had that meeting at work and I'm distancing myself from XYZ, which I know I shouldn't do. I need to think that it's just one colleague. Plenty of others are thankful, and I need to remember that. Am I going insane here? I don't know if I'm being overly sensitive or if she's being insensitive. My cat has been gone for less than 24 hours. I don't have it in me to think about anything else, especially a relatively minor work problem. I am struggling here. I am just so sad.
Well, it's less about the cat and it's more about this behavior in general, because one might argue like you need to take your mind off of it. Like you're allowed to be sad, but you should do your best to not get hysterical. Like when Blanche died, like that was just awful, but like you still have to move through life, even though it's painful, and you're going to cry and it's going to subside. And I get it. So there is an argument for like kind of what this podcast is about, like taking your mind off of your troubles. The issue is more that you're wanting your friend who will mourn with you. You want the friend that will call you, come over, be like, let me take you out somewhere, let me do something. And she's just kind of glossing over it. And I think she's glossing over it because you let her. So I think what happens is you don't really want to stand up to her. And you say, I'm so sad. And then she's like, hey, I'm so sorry. That's really awful. Anyways, back to me. And you're never like, actually, I'm really not doing great right now.
Yeah.
Because you're so blown away that she's insensitive, but she would argue like, oh, sorry, like you seemed like you needed cheering up or whatever. She's a little too selfish and self-involved, and you're a little too afraid to stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to lose her as a friend. Now, this might be who this person is, but it is worth saying like, hey, like I'm sorry. I don't really want to talk right now. I'm really sad. So let's just talk later. It's hard to be like, you don't want to talk about my cat. And then she'll be like, oh my God, I did. I asked you how it was. She's going to always defend that. So you need to protect sort of yourself. I don't like the term protect your peace. It's this weird, like therapized, like protect your peace, which usually is a sign of you being a weak person anyway. Like peace doesn't need to be protected. Like there's people that go around, they're like, I need to protect my peace. Like, no, this is part of living in a society around people. Like people that are constantly warning about that. It's just like, our peace is going to get rattled. This is what it is.
There's an element of this. I am exactly like this listener. Number one, I'm so sorry about your cat. It will get easier, but it is just, you're like, how can anyone else be living their lives? But
that's any death, any breakup. You're like, how are people just going around knowing that they're dead?
But
totally.
I am exactly the same in that you have set these rules for yourself. You have said to yourself, it is not nice of me to bring up my shit when she's talking about something. And now you're expecting her to follow these rules that you applied to yourself. She's not going to. You're more conscientious than her. And it makes me so mad when other people don't follow the same rules I have set for myself, but that's not how the earth works, unfortunately.
Protect your peace, Emily. You're not protecting it right now. You're not being peaceful. And it's tough. It's tough and we've had questions about this where a friendship has been set up a certain way over 15, 20 years, and now you kind of want to change up the rules. You are allowed to change. And you are allowed to decide that you want better for yourself and that you don't like the old rules of this friendship, but you cannot expect that friend to read your mind.
Yeah.
And you've always been this way. You've always let her do it. So if you really want to, I think what you're wanting from her is a little bit more than the check-in. And I don't know, is she like this with other friends? Like, is this just how she is? Or does she sort of traipse over you? Can you talk to another friend? But you are within your rights to be like, when she says that, be like, hey, that sucks. I'm having a hard day. I'm really sad about the cat. So I'll just talk to you later. Mm-hmm. You don't want to be passive aggressive about it, but you also don't want to spend the time fighting about it. And you can't change her. So all you can change is the way you behave toward her. And you don't have to cut her out completely, but you can kind of just take some space from her.
Yeah, it is also interesting. I think this is a very specific element of friendship because I have like friends that are shitty friends, but were very good when Gracie died. You know, even though in general they're not thoughtful, shitty friends. You're obviously a thoughtful friend.
Okay, just want to make sure.
I know, but I have like I have shitty friends who were very good at that time in my life, and I was like, oh, they can't be relied on for anything else. So I don't know. Who cares about this person?
Cool, Emily. Who cares about your problem and your
Not
cat?
this
Moving
question asker.
No,
They're
I
her
know.
friend.
Yeah, it sounds just really immature. But again, you've set up these rules. This is the way it is. You cannot expect someone in a romantic relationship or friendship to just read your mind and change overnight. So either teach her how to treat you or give it some space and then you can go back to her being selfish. Because there are selfish friends do have a place in our lives.
Mhm.
You know, the friend that never really cares but is easy to go out with or always wants to do something fun. Not every friend is built for everything and you might have to find different friends to lean on.
Yeah.
This person also definitely does not own a cat. Otherwise, they would care because people who don't own cats are just like, okay, well,
Right.
I've had a cat. I get it. All right.
You did have a cat, an orange cat.
It's the reason we're friends. The only reason you would work for me is because
I had to know that you had a cat in your past.
Big, thick orange cat with a weird ear. Okay.
What was up with the ear?
Clipped. I don't know.
Oh, a little feral baby.
So here's something I was thinking about recently, right? We all wear headphones, but for the most part, people tend to use one of two kinds. Either the big cans that go over your head and they make your ears sweaty, or the brand that rhymes with RareBods, right? The truth is, we deserve headphones as versatile as we are. Meet JLab. Their headphones come in so many different colors, and they have different headphones for every type of activity you might be doing. Because headphones aren't one size fits all. For travel, you could do the Epic Lux ANC over-ear headphones, super comfortable and sleek looking with the longest active noise canceling playtime at 60 plus hours, right? That's enough for a connecting flight and then some. For walks or working out or physical activity, there's Epic Sport ANC 3. These are a secure fit. They're not going to go popping out when you're jumping around, and a long battery life. That's 68 hours plus. Hopefully you're not working out that long. And for those of you with tiny ears, for the smallest fit ever, check out J-Buds Mini. They fit on your keychain and they're smaller than a coin. JLab has so many versions of headphones for all the different versions of, well, you. Look for the blue box at retailers everywhere or shop jlab.com and use code ELIZA for 15% off your order today.
All right. We have a question where you and I are going to fall on opposite ends.
Good.
Am I weird for being slightly annoyed that my boyfriend doesn't say bless you after I sneeze? I am not religious and I find the whole bless you reaction to someone sneezing a little weird, but I grew up in the South. It was just a small pleasantry that everyone did, and I continue to say it when someone sneezes. I asked him why he doesn't say bless you when I sneeze. He just kind of laughed and said, why would I say that? This is not even really an issue, but I would love y'all's opinions on this. Haha, Rain.
Well, Rain, I, like your boyfriend, and am someone who does not say bless you. And my husband will sneeze and I'll just kind of sit there. And he knows I love him, but he's come to just expect that I'm not going to say anything. My daughter has started saying bless you. I don't know where she got it. I tried to tell her to say Gesundheit.
Yeah,
I don't like the idea. It is too religious. It feels very religious to me. And it's this idea, this medieval idea that, okay, so your heart stops for a split second, your soul leaves your body and someone needs to bless you or else the devil could get you. I don't, that's where it stems from. So I don't really subscribe to that sort of ideology. Hold on. Hey, how do you, oh, I thought you were Noah. Hello. Do you want to come here for a second? Come here.
Is that a child?
Let me ask you a question. Come here. When mommy sneezes, what do you say?
Bless you.
Oh, bless you. And when you sneeze, what do I say?
Bless.
No, I don't. Get out of here. It's not even true. I say, when one of my kids sneezes, I always go, whoa! And then they love that. They love the reaction.
We are a Gesundheit family because my family's not religious. And I just think it's weird to sit there and stare and say nothing. But I will also not say bless you to people that I hate. So it feels like if somebody sneezes and I don't like them, I'm just silent. Like, ha.
It's weird if they don't know that those are your feelings. You're going to have to get over it. That being said, now I sneeze and my daughter says, bless you. And I'm like, that's so sweet. Thank you. Like, it is less religious and more like a common courtesy of just, and it's a holdover from like a very medieval superstitious belief. So I could go either way. But now that you know he doesn't say it, I think it's okay.
Yeah. He doesn't say it. So there we go. If you really want him to, tell him you want him to say, but give him something else to say that's just for you when you sneeze. Like, good job.
Yeah. Or, oh my goodness. Or, here we go. Up, here we go.
What? Hey, Eliza and Emily. Huge fan of you both. I just recently caught up to you on the podcast, so no more 4 episodes a day for me. So sad.
Power chug. Love
Yeah.
that.
My kids think I'm nuts because I'm always wearing headphones and laughing out loud while cleaning or cooking dinner. I've learned so much from your advice. I'm practicing not apologizing for asking for things or being more direct at my job, and it's going great. Eliza, my husband and I saw you in Vancouver, Canada in January, and you killed it. I laughed so hard I cried, and the crowd was amazing. And can I just say something? One of Eliza's favorite phrases. I love how you talk about us Canadians and how much you love Vancouver. It's a beautiful place
Yeah.
to live.
Well, I'm just hoping if I'm nice enough
They'll let
that
you.
someone will give me citizenship. Yeah.
Anyway, here's my question. Am I wrong for thinking it's okay to stay the night with my boss? Context. I, 43 female, have been married to my husband for 19 years. Next month, I have a convention for work over a weekend. I will be there until late Saturday and the full day on Sunday. It will be more convenient and much less stressful to stay the night downtown instead of commuting both days and finding parking, etc. My boss, 36 male, married with 3 kids, has rented a Verbo with 2 bedrooms and
I
offers
think it's just VRBO.
Oh,
Verbo.
it's not an AIRNBNB.
VRBO.
All right. With 2 bedrooms and offered the second bedroom to any one of our staff who would like to stay downtown. He is staying in one of the bedrooms, the other is up for grabs. We are all female. All of us have spouses who will not be attending the convention or staying downtown. My boss's wife is co-owner of the company. She will be staying home with their kids. She's fully aware and partly made this plan. She probably booked the rental. Obviously, she doesn't have issues with him sharing the place with his staff. I didn't really think much of it and asked my husband if it would be okay if I stayed downtown and that my boss had an extra room. I was happy that I would have free accommodations for a night, especially since it's just a place to sleep and then back to work the next morning. It seems expensive to pay for a hotel you only sleep in. I'm sure you are familiar with this, Eliza. At first, he was okay
I don't
with
have a
it.
boss, but I am.
But you do just sleep
I
in
wish.
hotels.
Yeah. It's true.
At first, he was okay with it, but hours later came back to me and said it made him very uncomfortable. I was instantly annoyed and angry. It really threw me off that he had a problem with it, especially since he had previously said okay. I tried really hard to keep my cool, but I immediately felt like he was making this a bigger deal than it was. I took it that it means he doesn't trust me or my boss. We all are friends. I'm also kind of embarrassed that I'll potentially have to explain that I'm not staying in the VRBO, even though
Yeah.
another married coworker will stay with them the night before. Their spouse clearly doesn't see a problem. More context, my bosses used to be our neighbors. They were our good friends for 2 years before I started working for them. They have since moved houses, but when they lived across the street, we would hang out all the time as the kids played outside or have driveway fires and drinks. We love their family and they love ours. My boss is not a flirty person and has never been inappropriate towards me or any other female staff. To me, staying with him is a practical solution to avoid extra
Right.
travel, gas, booking a hotel room, but my husband can't get over his feeling that it's inappropriate and it really upsets him that I don't agree. Am I wrong? Is it never a good idea to put myself in this situation because I'm a married woman, or is he just deflecting his insecurities to me? Happy to hear both your opinions. And here's my follow-up. I booked myself a hotel room and tried to be super casual about it when coworkers asked. No one batted an eye. Haha, I love you both. A.
Yeah, we always think people are going to care more about our comings and goings and doings than they do. What you were bracing yourself for was being like, oh, I'm not going to stay in the Airbnb. And your boss and everyone being like, why? Are you guys sleeping together? Is there something weird? You already booked it because Emily's slow and she didn't get to your question quick enough. But
That's in the same text. It's not as
Okay,
a
well,
comment.
Okay, if you're going to ask us our advice, you have to put your life on pause. There's always time to change that. I have 2 things. One, you need to sit down and have a very uncharged, very honest talk to hear where your husband is coming from. Because you're right, it is an indictment on you, first and foremost. And it's an indictment on your boss. Because there could be something you never know where your husband was like, yeah, we were having a barbecue and I saw him staring at you. Or we had a guy's night and he said that he had cheated. You never know where he's coming from. But let's say nothing like that ever happened. Then it's an indictment on you, and that's not right because you're saving money. It makes your life easier, and he's wanting you to make your life harder and spend more money because he doesn't trust his wife. And it would be different if your boss, it was a hotel room, but someone else is staying there. You guys are all friends. You have your own separate quarters, and you're going to work the next day.
Mm-hmm.
If it's all above board, then your husband really shouldn't have a problem with it. And I do think it's fair to be like, great, now, I mean, it's not the case because nobody cared, but you have to be like, great, you have to explain. I have to now say, oh, I can't because my husband doesn't trust our friend. Now you're putting me in a weird place. But it turned out nobody cared. But your bigger issue is that your husband doesn't trust you. So what's that about?
I agree that this is not a problem, but the fact that you asked his permission and you're mad, so you asked his permission and there was only one acceptable answer.
It's weird. You shouldn't have asked. You should have
Right.
told.
It should have just been like, here's what I won't be there this weekend because I'm doing this. But the fact that you were like, what do you think? And he said, I don't like it. And now you're mad. Right.
And now he's going to be like, well, why'd you ask me then if you didn't want to know what I thought? And you'll be like, because I didn't think you would be such a Luddite about it.
Right.
There's something else going on there. And I think for the sake of being civil, you should sit down very calmly and be like, what exactly is going on?
Yeah.
And he'll be like, I just know what goes through guys' minds. And you're like, well, then I shouldn't be working for this person. I should never be alone with them. Like,
right.
And you never want to say, like, if I wanted to cheat, we'd have the time. Like, don't even put that in the conversation. This is about you being in a relationship where that person trusts you. Yeah. Because if you aren't going to cheat on him, then it doesn't matter what weird thought your boss has.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's it.
Let's do Cobb.
It's a talk with a Cobb. We're doing it right every day. You just take a bite, top of the Cobb.
Knew it. I knew it was Cobb time.
Cobb
All right,
time.
We'll do fan tops.
Tops. We'll do bottoms.
Fan bottoms.
Fan bottom. Bottom of the Cobb, when someone starts an email with just your first name. My executive director at work does it, and I just opened an email from a PTO mom. If your email starts with PTO or PTA, if your email starts with Kelly instead of Hey Kelly, I'm instantly assuming you want to fight.
Oh, it does sound like a robot, right? Like job recruitment.
Yeah. So maybe this is a fight me. Who knows anymore? Also, I gave you the Eclipse glasses. My husband and daughters, 11 and 9, were all pumped to hear you answer his question about tour strategy.
There you go. I mean, that's just strategy changes from show to show. You got to always put a hey. Like, Eliza, I've told you before.
Yeah.
Dear Schlesinger, your job requirements sound like they'd be excellent for our recruiting.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It does sound like they're sitting you down.
Right.
Like, Kelly, listen.
Hey, yeah, exactly. Right. Even if somebody just says, hi, blah, 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 no name, I'm like, oh, you also hate me.
Hey there.
Yeah. I do a hey there because it feels the least aggressive.
I do hey, and I realize it sounds too casual sometimes for like emailing an executive. I'll be like, hey, Brian, you told me a lot of racist things in that private meeting. I'm not going to say anything, but just know that
I know.
I agree. No, I'm just kidding. But just know that now I need you to make my movie. Okay.
My bottom is, I think that this shared delusion we all partake in now pisses me off. I haven't been to a concert in a million years. I went to the Kylie Minogue concert. It was wonderful.
You did, yeah.
This encore thing, we know you're coming back. Why do we have to play this game where it's bye, good night, walk off stage, lights go off. Everybody's like, oh, is she going to come back? Cheer, cheer, cheer. Clap. Oh, she came back because, she hasn't played her fucking #1 song right now yet. Of course she's coming back. What are we doing here?
What are we doing with this charade?
This charade that we have been partaking in at every concert forever. Why? Just do all the songs and then let us go.
Be done. Because nobody really wants the encore. They're like, I'd like to go.
I just kept thinking about, because I was thinking of you, because I was texting you during this concert, like, is this chair nice enough for Kylie Minogue? Because I'm like, you perform in arenas. So I was thinking about how insane it would be if a comedian, if you like got off stage and you waited till you heard enough cheers, then you came back and did like a 3 guys walking to a bar joke, like a classic, right? Like, let's do the one everyone knows. Yeah.
I'm back, you guys. Men and women are different. Here's the thing about that chair. You posted a picture of her sitting in a chair.
You a chair
you
picture.
Texted it to me. You got to put it on the Patreon because you were upset about this chair. And I was like, it actually looks like a pretty sturdy, high back, collapsible chair. But the truth is, like, all these things cost money. And I doubt Kylie Minogue has like billions to devote toward her tour. And so it probably was just whatever was at the venue. And they're like, great, we don't want to buy a chair that we have to bring everywhere. And it looks sturdy, probably just needed a high back and to be high. Most things are pretty utilitarian when it comes to production. Like, here's what we got. You probably don't want to spend the money on that nice chair.
Fair.
Yeah, the idea is that you leave and everyone's like clapping. Like when you play Europe, they clap in unison. My nightmare as a performer would be if I left And then I waited, and then they all started to leave. And you're
Right.
like, wait, come back. I was going to do my big hit.
Right, exactly.
La,
It's
la,
just
la.
no other live performer does it. So it's very funny to me. Like I'm just sitting there like, we all know what's happening. She's saying bye, but it's not real.
Thank you. Yeah. No, you're right. You are right. The things that we just sort of participate, kind of like saying bless you.
Yeah.
Like we all know you're not dying, but you need to do it because it's what's expected. Okay. Top of the cob. My top of the cob was.
Did you do your bottom?
Sorry, my bottom of the cob. I'm sorry. My bottom of the cob is I got on the airplane to come home from Washington State and I could not stop sneezing multiple times in a row. I don't know what came over me. Maybe my nose was like, we're going from the clean Pacific Northwest back to the thick hellscape of Los Angeles, dirt air. And I couldn't stop sneezing. And all I had with me was a napkin. And I didn't get up. And I just thought, I'll just use the napkin a little bit. I'll just dab. And it wrecked my nose. And I was so sick. I started so healthy that flight and I got home and it felt like, I was like, am I dying? I feel like I have a cold. It was almost like we came home early from a vacation, but like we were in our home. So like all my clothes were clean, everything was clean, but like we came home early. So I came home on a Friday and my body is not used to coming home from something quasi-relaxing to a relaxed environment. Usually it's like, I'm done with the road and I pour myself into my house on a Sunday and then I get, and I was like, well, you're not dirty and you're relaxed and your clothes are clean and you're not sick and you don't have work. And it was almost like my body like got confused. And then I just kind of like didn't feel well and got in bed. It was the strangest thing. The point is blowing my nose into an Alaska Airlines lounge napkin for the duration of the 2-hour flight has left me with quite the raw little sniffer.
Oh, that's very sad. Okay, now for top.
Because you think it won't be, and then your snot, you're like, I'll just use my own snot to like lubricate it. Nope.
Oh, God.
Real raw. Top.
Fan top. This is a thematically appropriate fan top. Here in Australia, we are in autumn. After weeks of rain, we had a whole weekend of sun, and it was that perfect Australian autumn weather, 25 degrees Celsius with a slight cool breeze. So nice. So you have waiting for you, maybe, Eliza.
Don't you feel like of all the things that are quasi-European that I will admit are better than what we do in America, don't you think 25 sounds cold on a scale like to 100 degrees? 25, like the number is low.
Yeah.
We usually rate things on a scale of 1 to 100.
Yeah.
Fahrenheit just makes more sense.
It does. I know.
So
I agree.
I said it. What's yours?
My top is on, and it's not just the concert, although I hadn't been to a concert in a long time, and especially a big production like that with dancers and everything. But, and this sounds so shitty to say about a woman, but I appreciated how genuinely grateful she was. Like she hasn't toured here in 15 years, since 2011. And this was a big arena, and she just kept like talking to the audience in such a way that it didn't feel like, and maybe she's very good at it, but it didn't feel like this is what she says to every city, or it is what she says to every city, but she means it. But she genuinely seemed like she kept thanking the audience and was just very happy to be performing in a way where I was like, I love that you're clearly having a nice time. Even like it was just very sweet. And
it felt like, personal. It felt intimate in an arena, which I think is a skill.
Hard. Yeah, it was really good that she really was like, she pointed out like people with specific t-shirts and stuff. And I was like, maybe there's nobody in that t-shirt over there and all of this is a lie, but whatever she's doing, she is selling it. And even among all these people, I feel like, oh, she's performing for me. How nice of her. So it was a great experience.
There's something to be said for like, there's a reason people say the name of the city. Like there's a reason comics do local references. Like people want to feel like you took the time to know where you were. You weren't just up there doing like a rote performance. So hats off to Kylie Minogue.
Put it in her video. Hats off to Kylie Minogue. There was like a video segment at one point with a billboard in it that she's looking at, and the city name was Atlanta. Clearly she swaps the video segment every time, but I was like, that's
she
a very
pays for
nice touch.
She pays for someone to do it, and she pays for that screen. Like these are all show costs that, you know, I don't even pay for screens sometimes because houses will be like, great, it's $8,000. And I'm like, really?
Well, you don't.
I'm good.
She has, the screens are going as like backup dancers. Can you, next special, Eliza, please just the whole time you're doing your jokes, have backup dancers in the background that you do not acknowledge.
Love that. Anything that makes me not have to work as hard. My top of the cob is We got to the airport like really early, and I was like, I'm going to the lounge, and it was very expensive. And my husband was like, because we have the 2 nannies with us and Noah, and he was like, you don't have to. I was like, I need to go to the lounge. Like, this is how I travel. This is how I travel. This is just what I do. I travel so much, and I don't care what people think about that. And he was like, well, why don't you and Sierra just go? And I was like, goodbye. So I brought Sierra, and we go to the lounge, and I brought Tianfu. And as I walk in, holding Sierra's in my hand, and I'm holding Tianfu, these 2 women who remind me of this is my second reference to this podcast, the Women and Women First bookstore owners in Portlandia.
Yeah.
It's just these 2, I don't know if they were lesbians or just like 2 older women with very, very long white hair.
Yeah.
And I walk in and they just, oh, the baby. And they were only talking to Tianfu. And they did not, I don't want to say they descended upon her, but could she come over here? Just these 2 like women's literature bookstore owners sitting in the lounge. So nice. And I immediately, because I had to like get stuff for Sierra, I give Tianfu to them. I was like, she might leap out of your lap. They were holding her. And at one point they were even like, sorry, we didn't even pay attention to your daughter. And I was like, that's okay. And I have a picture of my daughter off to the side coloring. And these women are like felling over this dog. And it was just, they were like, who and what kind of dog? Like, they gave her the Chinese princess attention that she deserved.
Yeah.
And I was living for it.
Yeah.
I don't need you to acknowledge my dog or my baby, but that's great that you love the dog who deserves it. And they were so kind, and they were giving her treats, and the dog is like tolerating it. And then the ladies left for their flight, and I got up to get something else. And when I came back, 2 other middle-aged women that looked like they were like on a girls trip had sat in the seats, and they were like, oh, who's this baby? And so then they got to hold Tianfu. It was just a rotation of like liberal middle-aged women hiking for the weekend that wanted to hold my dog, and I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved that they wanted to know everything about her. They loved her story. And she got to eat some dried salmon. That is human grade. It was great.
Oh, good for her.
Big day. You guys, if you're hearing this and you're in Brisbane, we got 2 shows. So come on out and see me. And then you can come see me at the Bruce Mason Center in Auckland on April 26th. And then I'm taking a nice long break. You can always see me do local shows. I'm going to try to put together a Mother's Day show, but we're really going to be, we're going to be doing the pod every week as we always did. We're going to try to get some more live episodes on the books if Emily will have me. And we're here. Join that free Patreon before it becomes a paid Patreon. Send us your questions. Are you still taking questions from the email, Emily? Because I recognized all these from the Patreon. All right.
All that menstrual blood was from the email.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's what you get that for. And I'm not going to kick it to Emily. And maybe next time we'll have an animal song. Or did we stop doing it?
We can keep doing it. I just keep getting complaints.
Okay, that's fair. But we did have a graphic made for it. So maybe send in a few more, and then we'll just let it die slowly.
Yeah, keep sending them. I like it. I like this segment a lot. You know what? Screw all of you. We're going to keep doing it.
Robert Bashoon, you've known the truth. That's my new hit.
You'll never know when you have to jam.